How are you? You having a great time? Okay. Well, I'm also one of you. Let's see, class of 75. I was on the 6-year program at that time, etc. But it's great. It's first of all wonderful to teach at Berkeley, and it was wonderful to have gone here in the heydays, where basically every single person was questioned to death about what is it that you know and do you have the right to teach us, and this kind of thing. It's quite a different deal today, although I must tell you, in teaching the evening weekend MBA program, which this is a slice of what I'm going to do with you in the leadership communications program, I got to tell you, those of you that are in my age group, which I see are very, very few, most of you are younger, which is a little bit disconcerting because I used to be the youngest everywhere I went, but not now. They are actually of that same character in terms of inquisitive, wise, very, very ethically minded, very, very socially minded, really wonderful, wonderful people. And the idea, I'm sure that, one says, yes, #1 business school, and isn't it great that we all went here and all that kind of thing. But actually, there are some things that are perhaps behind the shadow that one doesn't know, which actually are also working to make it the #1 business school. And again, don't take my word for, I wouldn't take my word for anything. I would do your own data search, etc. This is the only business school that requires interpersonal communication and authentic leadership as a core course. You may not get your MBA if you do not understand how to relate to people and how to work with people and how to bring your most authentic self in terms of communicating with others in that way. And most recently, this is the only business school of the top 10 that offers an elective called the Leader's Coach, which is saying managers and leaders have to become coaches for their people. They have to begin to grow their people. It is not enough to be smart and have a pretty face and a gorgeous body like some of us. It's basically what you need to do is that you need to, in fact, get out there and what is going to differentiate you from the whole crowd. So I think that that's a lot to feel proud of, and that's a lot to, in fact, feel good about that, out here there are cutting-edge things, and that amid a lot of very traditional work, there's also this idea of we're going to be first to do that, and we're going to create leaders here that are authentic leaders and memorable leaders, such as have never been created before. So what I'm going to do with you, I'm going to actually make a few remarks, and then I'm going to do something with you. You've been at lectures all day, etc. Let's do a little workshop, and let's get to know each other, and let's develop a little bit of skill, etc. So can you just turn to your neighbor for a moment, and we do this just across the way here right now, and for 45 seconds just brainstorm, what is leadership presence? What is leadership presence? One of these new buzzwords, new ideas that's happening. In your view, what is leadership presence? Go. And you can speak in 3. That's fine. Okay, good, great. That's perfect, perfect. Okay. And Christina, in a moment, I'm going to have you chart for me a bit, hey? Okay, yeah, in a few moments. All right, so just shout it out so that we can actually start to put together some kind of working definition. What is leadership presence? Yes. Sorry? Thought and conviction, good. Ooh, you just got an A. Boy, you learned your words. That's great. Confidence without attitude, yep. Good. Leaving an impression when you... Okay, good. Give me one or two more. Yep. Okay, even before you enter the room. Influence, good. Okay, and who do you know, and it doesn't have to be a famous person, but who do you know that has leadership presence? Sorry? Yes, right. Who else? People that you... Sorry? Okay, where does Obama have leadership presence? Great. That moment of what to say to the audience. Good. Other people that are examples of leadership presence. Mandela, how? Exactly. And with tremendous humility, empathy, compassion. So if we're talking about authentic leadership, two great examples of authentic leaders. So as some of us stood on the railroad tracks when President-elect Obama came into town for the actual inauguration, standing next to me, there was a woman there that she just couldn't hold it back any longer, and she just yelled, "I love you, Mr. President. I love you, Mr. President." And in that very, very subtle way, he says, "Stop the train." And, they're still good. I said, "Stop the train." And he gets off, and the Secret Service is going crazy. I mean, they are like all over the place. Off the train, to her, right in the eye, and "Madam, I love you back." And it was just this golden moment, and there it was. I love the fact that you mentioned Nelson Mandela, who's a real hero of mine, because as the man walks out of prison, 27 years in prison, and again, these privileged moments that every so often we get to be witnessing a historical moment, comes out on the steps of Cape Town City Hall and says, "I come to you as your humble servant. I come to you as your humble servant. And I'm asking each of you not to leave, because there's a new nation that we need to build together. I know what you're thinking, and you're thinking of going, and don't leave." And that night he's in the synagogue with a prayer shawl. And the next day he's at St. Luke's Cathedral. And the next day he's with this diocese and this group and that group, saying, "Don't go. We need to bring ourselves together." And I must tell you, as a major fan, as well as somebody who does a lot of culture change work in South Africa, we're very, very proud of the next 2 months. The World Cup's coming. They passed the test. The third world passed the test. And so that's something which is really, with all the problems, with all the stuff they've had to go through, they passed the test, and the good times are going to roll in June and July. So the other thing, of course, with the Mandela idea here is that, coming out with his guards, coming out with the prison guards to say, "They guarded me for 20 years. I'd like us to salute them because they showed me unusual compassion and generosity." So that forgiveness and no hatred in one's heart. So just to cut through it, because I only have a very, very short time with you, leadership presence, which is in every single person in this room, by the way, every single one of you, is the skill set that allows you to motivate, inspire, and connect to the thoughts of other people. Period. It's in every person. Whether you choose to use it or not is up to you. Sure, there are superstars. There always are. There are real superstars about this kind of thing. A Gandhi right across the street at the Greek Theater when I was a small boy. I watched President Kennedy's motorcade come down University Avenue. And this handsome president and his beautiful wife. And I'm there with all of our neighbors. And suddenly we march up to the Greek Theater, and the speech is about to begin, and the president climbs up the stairs like Julius Caesar, and the crowd goes completely crazy. And I'm this small kid saying, Mommy, what? She said, shh, it's going to happen. And we suddenly hear this voice ring out from the Greek Theater that says, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. And the crowd is on their feet for 25 minutes. This is our moment, and we will build together. Right there, guys. Right there. And I see my mother, who's not a particularly warm person, hugging this stranger. And I said, who's this person? She said, I don't know. And I said, but who is it? And she said, I don't. I said, why are you doing it? She says, because we're feeling so much hope. So it's this unbelievable moment. It can also be very quiet. It can be Mother Teresa, who you're leaning forward and she says, I shall heal the sick until the day I die. I shall heal the sick until I die. It can be a grandmother. It can be an aunt. Leadership presence, the skill set that allows you to, in fact, connect to other people. And that's very much at the crux of the authentic leader. And I just want to make 4 quick points, and then I want to do something with you because I'm drawing from some very interesting sources. I'm drawing from the science of anthropology. I'm drawing from, if you can just close your eyes for a moment and picture a very young, thin, good-looking actor about 30 years ago in this body, in that way. I'm drawing from my skills as an actor. I'm drawing from the martial arts. That's actually where we find a lot of the skills that help leaders become impactful leaders in what I'm talking about. So point 1, I'm passionate about communication. I'm passionate about communication. You want to write it down? Fine, you don't want to write it down, it's okay. It's 4 very quick points. Communication is a discipline. You do it forever and you never arrive. What does that mean to you? Just kind of take a chance. Communication is a discipline. You do it forever and you never arrive. What's that mean? Long journey that you cannot perfect, and you have to keep renewing it and renewing it all the time. Point 2, communication. I used to say communication is the most important business skill, other than the skill of doing the job. And I had 3 CEOs over the last 5 years correct me to say you're wrong, which, you know, the moment they say you're wrong, you wonder, well, there goes that job, or there goes that consulting assignment. But what they meant was communication is the most important business skill. Full stop. Without communication, we can't move it forward. Without the leader's communication, without the workplace culture communication, we really can't move it forward. The third point, in a workforce study that we did recently at 10 different companies, the rank and file, the critical mass, the average worker, which is how we all achieve our results in terms of the critical mass, is saying the following. What we want more than anything else, other than greater salaries and more money and this kind of thing, is we want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be recognized, and we want to make a contribution. What do those words mean to you? People who, in fact, are working in the world of business and so forth, when someone says, an employee says, I really want to be seen. Well, what's that mean? Sorry? Good. I don't want to be invisible. I don't want to just be a number. And I want to be heard. I want to be heard. I want to make a difference. I want my ideas heard. I don't want rolling eyes just because I actually speak an idea. I want to be recognized. I want to be recognized. Well, what's that mean? Sorry? Yeah, valued. And that I'd like to hear a thank you, or I'd like to hear good job, or I'd like to hear that right in the moment. I don't have to wait for the ceremony that's going to happen at the end of the year. Sir? Excellent. Beautiful. A giving and receiving. So I want to be heard. I want to hear you. I want to be seen. I want to be seen. And then I want to make a contribution. I'd like to do something somewhat significant. And just the final point, since you define leadership presence, if you think about presence, communication, conviction and knowledge, the power of presence, the power of communication, the power of conviction, and the power of knowledge. When those four are aligned, you have leaders who speak with leadership presence. Back to the example of Gandhi, Mandela, and all those folks. Okay, that's all I have to say about leadership presence, and I'd like to do a couple things with you now, but I'd like you to know a little bit where they're from. So just put on a different hat right now and speak to your neighbor. And Christina, if you can help me just chart on a transparency here. 45 seconds. If you can think, since we're drawing different disciplines to find the skills that will help authentic leaders communicate effectively, in your minds, what is the purpose of film, or film, F-I-L-M, or some of us say theater, some of us say theater, and from the other side of the Atlantic, we say theater. Okay? So what, I just want you to come up with 3 or 4 things. What is the purpose of film or theater? 45 seconds, brainstorm with the best looking person you can find. Go. So if we can just like chart a few of them, that would be great. Okay.
In about 15 minutes, we're going to have one of the MBAs.
This will take two seconds. Okay. Is it okay?
Is what okay?
This.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, good. Great. So this is just a little taste of it. Let's just get 3 or 4 here. What is, in your view, what is the purpose of going to the theater, seeing a film, etc.? I just want 3 or 4. Sorry? Inspired. To be inspired. Okay, good. Let's just get that there. More. To entertain. And entertainment is also to let go, have fun, kind of forget our troubles. Yep. To remember what? Good. Okay, to remember the message. Okay, let's get on there to tell the compelling story. Ted. To educate. Great. To educate. So, for instance, how many of you ever saw a play called Death of a Salesman? Okay, who remembers the plot that can tell it in 15 seconds or less? 15 seconds. 30 seconds. What is the play about? Sorry? Regret. Willy Loman. It's actually, guys, it's a 1947 story about downsizing. It's actually Miller's story. Willy Loman goes to his boss. Can I work a few less hours? Can I do that? And his boss says, yeah, I have a great idea. Why don't you stop working, period? But he says, I can't afford that. He said, that's not my problem. Go find work with your sons. He goes, and the whole thing's lost. And he gets more and more depressed, and the play ends. Finally, the only way he can take care of his wife is actually by taking his own life. And in 1985, it's a very, very popular play because the whole idea of people sometimes try and get lost and somehow can't find the answer. Even in something as clear as having a dream, having something to aspire to. So in 1985, I saw this play. I've also directed the play at the Walter Kerr Theater in New York City. I went by myself. I always go by myself because no one wants to go to a play with me. I have too many comments to make, and why didn't they do that, you know? And they said, Mark, we'll see you afterwards for a drink. I don't blame them. They wouldn't go with me if you were my best brother. Anyway, I'm sitting there. It's the final monologue. The widow is at the cemetery, and she speaks these words. And she says, why did you do it, dear? Why did you do it? We made the last payment on the house today, and there's nobody home. We're finally free. We're free. We're free. And the curtain's coming down ever so slowly. And I am there alone, right? And I am feeling a hand on my hand. And for a Californian to be in New York City, no offense, New Yorkers, and kind of looking around, what is it? You know, someone's taking my wallet. And there's a woman there with snow white hair, about 85, and she mouths the words as the curtain's coming down, do you mind? Do you mind? So the curtain came down, of course, standing ovation, Dustin Hoffman, the whole crowd. And she says, I'm so sorry. I feel so embarrassed. I said, no, it's fine. What was it? She said, you know, I have 5 kids. I lost my husband about 7 years ago. Nobody calls. I get a big house in Morristown, New Jersey. She said, and it's very much what the gentleman over here said. She said, when I heard that monologue, that's my story. She said, and I just didn't want to be by myself in that moment. And Betty Johnson, and we met for lunch for about a year, just talking about life and about those possibilities. And so that idea of building a community and telling a compelling story and something we can all identify with and be inspired by is that way very, very much it. And so very much if you take a look at this list here, is there anything on this list that you could see leaders in companies using as effective communicators? Is there anything on this list? Okay, probably all. So your last bit of homework now for me before we get to do a fun exercise is turn to the other good-looking person now and just articulate in 30 seconds or less what are the skills the actor's using to be a compelling communicator. I'll give you a hint. It begins with the voice, unless you're trying out for a mime show. It begins with the voice as the muscle of communication. And I don't mean a voice like this. I'd like to really thank everybody for helping with the latest project. This is such an inspiring crowd. And when I just see the looks on your faces, I go home and tell my wife, I'm really with the right work group. It's a, no. But in other words, a voice with vocal variety. What else besides the voice? 30 seconds, go. 30 seconds, go. Lily, how are you at charting? Are you good? Charting? Writing? Just put actor skills here, right? Yeah. I'll make sure that they go slow. Okay, good. So all this 100-some people, wisdom, etc. So in other words, the voice, vocal variety. And it doesn't have to be as big as mine. It doesn't have to be as kind of out there as mine, but a voice that in fact connects with language and vocal variety. What else does the actor have to do to in fact give a performance that's worth the audience listening to and tuning into? Practice, good rehearsal. And there's not enough rehearsal in any discipline these days because we want it quickly. Next. Sorry? Like this? Sort of like this? Okay, good. But he's right. A fair amount of eye contact where you're connecting. Ted? Good. So you have the physical expression, the nonverbal expression. Anything else? Energy. What is energy? What is energy? Yes. The energy to go from 2 to 5:30. Quick break for dinner. From 7 to 10:30. The audience is not concerned that you're tired. There is no concern. You're there. I bought my ticket. I'm here to hear a story. And you can find that energy from the breathing, from the work, etc. I wish I had time with you guys. I don't. I would do a lot of that kind of work, which we do with our MBA students, because you have to be able to sustain a long period of holding the presence. Holding the presence. We use something from anthropology. Why communities survive. Communities survive because tribes and families and certain indigenous people use an expression, show up and choose to be present. Show up and choose to be present. When you choose, verb, to show up and be present, you will, versus show up and choose not to be present, I feel disengaged, I think I'll go home. I think I'll multitask on the phone call, versus show up and be truly, truly present. It's very, very important. Give me two more. Sir? Sorry? Breath control, great. See, and every person here, there's not one of you that needs a lavalier mic. A lavalier mic is some weird modern substitute for I don't have the right to speak. I do not have the right to speak. Sir? Sorry? Strategic pauses, good. Using pause. How about passion? What's passion? Come on, guys. Passion. Enthusiasm. Good. If my friend, it's Lily here, right? Yep. Okay. So if you look at this list of actor skills, and just right here, daily communication skills. Daily communication skills. Is there anything on that acting list that can actually be useful to you who wants to become an authentic leader and powerful communicator? If so, which ones? Sorry? Yeah, and let's put reading your audience there. Reading your audience. One of the things I work with, which, I love these MBA students. They are so smart. And I say, guys, you better get a life if you're going to talk around me. I read the audience as a group of bankers. You've just started the work. They're a group of bankers, and who else are they? They're men and women who have a sensibility. Yeah, they're a group of finance people. They're a group of elderly people. Who are they? They have white hair. Good. Now these people are a group of salespeople. They're men and women, mothers and fathers, who have ideas, who have dreams. Get to know your audience. You connect with your audience. It's not just the finance crowd. This kind of thing. And good actors will feel that audience. They will feel the vibe from that audience. They will play for that audience. Okay, so that's really good. Give her a big, big hand. Okay. So, just if you actually see this, thank you very much. So, there we are. Batting 1,000. Okay. So in my study, again, of the Fortune 100 companies, they said these were the skills that were really important. I'm only going to do one, and then I'm going to do a little thing with you guys on relationship building, because you have such beautiful, beautiful faces, and I know about these events. They're great, they're fun, but there's a nice sandwich, a nice drink, and I don't even know the guy sitting next to me. I might as well be with a stranger, okay? So, energy, we all have it. We all have it if you decide to have it. If you're full attention, you had a lousy night, get a life. Do something about it. We all know how to do something about it. Some of you go to the gym, some of us don't. Okay. Got it? That's clear. You can walk around the building. You can sit there and breathe. I don't have any patience. If I had a bad night or the kids had a bad night, fine. That's not your problem. And that's all to do with authentic leadership. I'm enough of a pro to, in fact, work it, and I'll work it then later. We had Ted's physical expressions, body language, Relaxation, opposite attention. Okay? Spontaneity, think on your feet. Oh, I don't have any spontaneity. You don't? Well, then we can't use you in Congress, can we? We can't use you for the Senate. I've watched billions lost in Congress because it was off the yellow page. Everybody has spontaneity. Everybody can improvise. You just have to be given the chance to learn how. And if you're studying with your head the whole day instead of your heart, here at Haas, they're going head-heart. That's the whole deal. Breathing only to, in fact, get the energy going with the voice so the voice can last. And the listening, that's a decision. If the person's boring, you won't be able to hang in there long, but at least you'll give it a shot and let them know, be a bit more interesting. You know, I often say, when did you decide to be boring? What? How dare you say that? When did you decide to live off my energy at the dinner party? When did you decide to kind of sit in the bleachers and watch all of us interact? Who do you think you are? Get with life, you know? Focus and concentration. I didn't think this weirdo professor was here at Haas, eh? Focus and concentration. We had that be in the moment. And awareness is my favorite. And I dedicate that to all my male colleagues because I often hear, well, I leave the awareness piece to the wife. The wife? What are you talking about? Hello? This is 2010, and you're the leader, and you're being paid, and why the hell can't you recognize that these three people don't feel part of our group? Wake up, Buster. They don't feel part of the work team. Well, I was waiting for them to, in fact, say that maybe I could help them with more involvement. Get your eyes open and see that sometimes people have trouble saying, I don't feel quite part of the group. Extend your hand, or don't be a leader. No one's asking you to be a leader. You want to be a leader. You want to be a tip-top. So in other words, it's that kind of deal. Okay, can I have some fun with you guys for 15 minutes? You sure? Okay, on your feet. Okay. How many of you have been to Brazil? How many of you love Brazil? How many of you have been to Ipanema Beach wearing a bathing suit? Okay, good. We won't go there. Okay. Let's see if I can get on this thing because I can't see these people. Okay, there we are. I'm fine. Don't worry. They have insurance. We still have that great package. Okay. So just after me, real quickly, it's just three things. I just spent thousands on my kids' gis for a martial arts class in San Francisco. I go to this class in Brazil. No one is wearing a gi. They're wearing ordinary clothes. The most passionate martial arts class I ever went to was their warm-up. So I'm just doing this to get the energy flowing. After me, aha. Uh-huh. Yeah, but come on, you Brazilians, give me that kind of Ipanema thing with aha, okay, and aha. Uh-huh. Ooh, that was good, okay. Aha. 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 Let's try these two groups. Aha. Aha. They're winning. Come on, where's your passion? Try it again. Aha. Aha. Okay. And then if I say E, I want you to clap. E. But clap. E. 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 Aha. 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 E. E. And if I clap, you say E. Aha. 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 E. 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 Aha. Aha. E. 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 Together. Aha. 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 Good. Great. Can I have you come up here, please? Okay. And take them over. Yeah, actually stand up. And this is?
Darren. I don't have a name tag.
Okay, Derek. Give him a hand. Good. And take the group. Go. Great, give him a hand. Great, great. Lily, come. 30 seconds. There we go. Go for it. A lot of energy. Go. Great, give her a hand. Good, that's nice. Okay. Real quick. Uh-huh. 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 E. 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 Uh-huh. Sit. Good. Okay. All right, so that's a martial arts exercise. How do you feel? I didn't hear that. How do you feel? Okay, energized? Okay, why? I don't like icebreakers and I hate games. What I love is when I see skills building. And then I don't care if Mark Rittenberg's here or the man on the moon. You can do it for yourself as a leader. So why do you feel energized? Why do you feel good? Why do you feel excellent? Why? What did you do? Give me 3 or 4 things. We started breathing. Thank you. We started breathing. 2. Sorry? We all participated. 3. We got a rhythm. Good. 4. We got focused. And that's what, who's talked about the preparation? Someone here's talked about prep? Okay, I love that. Because stop scheduling yourself from 9 to 10 and 10 to 11, 11 to 12. We call that in anthropology a dishonoring of the people. Give yourself the 5 minutes to prepare to go in there so you can lead the most incredible meetings. You get on the most incredible telecon so we can have the most incredible interview. It's not about you. It's not about your high self-orientation. It's low self-orientation. It's about leadership is the act of service. You are there to serve other people. So you have to prepare yourself to go in. That was great work you did. But all you got to do is breathe, walk around the building, get your body ignited. It doesn't matter if you're fat or thin, as you see. You can basically do it to get yourself focused. Okay, I just want you to move on the count of 3, and you can't take a lot of time to do this because I'm just about there. I need you to move next to a stranger, someone you don't know. On the count of 3, I'm going to close my eyes and be there. 1, 2, 3. Sit down next to the stranger. Nice. Let's go. Sit. Good. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Lovely. Okay, guys. That's okay. Now, here we go. If you read the little blurb on my class about developing talent, inspiring others, bringing the resources of the organization forward, the thing that, again, my participatory research, meaning I'm the guy who talks to 500 people. I'm not very interested in the squares, and I'm not very interested in the fact that people checked a bunch of boxes. I did that too, and usually I lied. So the point is that but when I talk to you, I don't lie. Usually I tell the truth in terms of this is what's working, this is what's not working. And people say there's not enough relationship building. We've worked together 25 years, and we don't have a clue who's there. I don't know if they're talented. I don't know what kind of home life they have. I don't need to know their deepest, darkest secret. I'm not even connecting. So we're going to do a relationship building exercise that my grandchildren, my kids over here love in terms of this. You're going to turn to a stranger, and just for about 5 minutes, you're going to show up and be present using that first principle that I talked about. Just get to know each other just a bit. Get to know, talk about whatever you feel like, but show up. Don't think about the grocery list. Andronica's will wait, darlings. Safeway will wait, I promise you. It's all... Wait. Hello. Part two. During the talk, if you can, share a moment of pride or a moment of triumph that happened to you in the last 2 months, personally, professionally, that you feel comfortable sharing. Birth of a child, great thing that happened at work, great personal triumph, whatever. Moment of pride, personal triumph. You're only going to talk for about 5 minutes. It's not very long, but jump in and enjoy resuming an experience in the art of conversation. Moments of pride, moments of triumph, go. One minute. 1 minute.
Bless you for providing the visuals on an otherwise very passive afternoon.
Thank you very much. That's sweet of you.
Alumni department is going to
Thank you so much.
bring you back.
Oh, great. Oh, God, that's great. I want to make sure to get pictures. Oh, you will? Oh, great, 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 great. And start to wrap it up. Start to wrap it up. Are you guys happy to tell your story?
Yeah, I get it.
Great. Okay. Are you two happy to tell your story? You tell his story and he tells your story? Okay. You tell his and he'll tell yours. In no more than a minute a person. Start to wrap up. And thank your partner. Thank your partner. Thank your partner. but you keep talking. Okay. Sorry, guys, I hate to stop you. Stop. Okay. Hello. First of all, take a moment to acknowledge your partner. To acknowledge your partner, a handshake, whatever. Power of acknowledgement, power of appreciation. It's not la-la, it's not kumbaya. I don't do that, and I left my beads at home. But it's just about, it's the same thing as the power of recognition. When did you last say thank you and really mean it? When did you last just acknowledge there was another person on the street? How were the dialogues? Why? There's always a why. You guys were totally there. You were completely showing up, present. Why were they great? Come on, why? Time constraint is a good thing. Great. Good. Why else? Focus. Engaged. Sorry? Yes. Authentic. Sorry? Genuine interest. Gertrude Stein said it. The human story is never boring. The human story is never boring. Authentic leaders tell their own stories, whether it's a story of triumph or a story of struggle. Story of struggle. It's about the human story is never boring. I have one leader who was absolutely in the background the whole time with his company, 7,000 people, and I said, you got to get out there and tell your story. He says, I don't do that stuff, Mark. I said, don't do that. Do that at Berkeley. And finally things got so bad. He got up and he told the story, and he said, okay, I'll tell the story to the next emerging leadership group. And he got up there and he spoke these words. He said, I don't think most of you know my father died when I was 6. My mother had to go out as a maid after her day job in South Miami and clean the houses of the rich people wearing a maid's uniform. So my 5 brothers and myself had food to eat on the weekend and uniforms to wear to school. My mother will be 89 next week. She remains my most cherished hero. Folks, multi-billion-dollar company, the walls came down. The walls came down. It's far from perfect, but I said suddenly everybody got it. Why? Maybe he was so frightened sometimes to invest or frightened to... I would be too. My father died when I was 6. Huge thing. We have time to hear about 2 stories. I have 2 wonderful people here. Welcome them. Yeah. We got a microphone for you guys.
I don't need a mic after
He does need a mic. Okay. So so you are. Okay. So when you're ready, just bring a curtain up. Tell a story, 60 seconds or less. It's just about a good start. Bring it down, and then Herb, when you're ready, you bring the curtain up and down. And just celebrate the person in less than a minute. Moment of pride, moment of triumph. And your job is to show up and be present. And look at those faces. You see, when you show up and you're present, everybody trying their best up here, whether it's a sales deal or whether it's new work, does better because you're supporting them. Whenever you're ready. Give him a hand. Great. Okay, yeah. Great.
Herb teaches a core finance course at San Francisco State University, and I think we all know how difficult that course can be. I mean, net present value of money, time value of money, valuation, valuing stocks, bonds. I mean, we've all been there, right? So he was teaching this class, and the big moment of pride and achievement is to, after he taught his class, to see how committed they were, how much of an effort they put in, and how much of an improvement he saw from them at the end of the course. And in particular, there was this one girl who was on wheelchair and she had difficulty like walking and even writing, and still she shows up to his class every single day. She puts in her bit of work, and at the end of the course, to see commitment from people like that was just a real sense of feeling for him. And he said he set a very tough test, just like a Berkeley person would be expected to. And in spite of that, to see students do well on that test was probably the best sense of pride or commitment he has ever witnessed.
Great. Great. Beautifully done, beautiful celebration, and it took him 5 minutes, and this is my point. When you put yourself to it, you can create whatever you want to. Great work. Let's hear his. Just a curtain up, yeah. Just a start.
It's my friend Raul. He has a young daughter and involved in teaching her athletics. It's very, very important to teach her athletics. So he got involved in his soccer team. You see how disorganized 6-year-olds are in terms of they're all doing their own thing. And he noticed that they were starting to work together as a team. So he was very, very proud of seeing them get together as a team. Kind of like the Bad News Bears, where they didn't win too many teams, and here they won most of their games after working together in a collaborative effort. And of course, he's real proud of not only his own daughter doing that, but seeing all the other members of the team work together in a collaborative way. So it's a very rewarding experience for him to teach them good habits at a very young age and to develop those skills, particularly athletic, and to work together, to play in a sandbox well. So he's very, very proud of all of that, to see his daughter get along with other young ones, to get along well, and not to have any major injuries on the way out.
Curtain down. And shake hands. Thank you very much. And you two up. Yeah. So you see that whole thing again with what does it mean to, in fact, go towards possibility instead of the ain't it awful, downward spiral. Two strangers connect, celebrate what's great, children celebrate a class he teaches, a woman in a wheelchair. Guys, this is as good as it gets. And that whole idea, the whole idea of the power of human beings to do great things when the will and the spirit is that strong. Let's have one last story and we'll wrap it up. And bring the curtain up when you're ready, Lily.
So I just met Thomas, and his recent epiphany that he shared with me is he had a meeting with John Morrell from Career Services, and it dawned on him that his 10-year experience at a Zen monastery in Japan was something that he could bring to the business community by teaching people how to find their true self and letting go of their ego when they perceive themselves to be how they box themselves in, but really a self-discovery, and really passing on his knowledge. And he talked about with John, well, his one concern was he couldn't see himself making money off of that. And John told him to still pursue it and to still think about it, not necessarily in parts, to really think about how he can really share that knowledge and experience. And I was really touched by that because one of the many reasons actually I'm proud to be at the UC Berkeley, because unique experiences like that from our alumni, at a monastery is pretty
Bring the curtain down. You're right. That's good. That's good. Good. And bring the curtain up. Great. Beautiful. Lovely. Give him a hand. Nice, Thomas.
Lily has some very obvious tones which we were all able to obtain a few minutes ago. And those tones served her well about 8 years ago in landing a job with a market research company. After these 8 years, she has just completed her MBA here, and her boss came to her exhibiting some very fine leadership qualities and recognizing what a contribution she was making to his organization. So he promoted her. As soon as she had received her MBA from here, he promoted her to oversee all of their project managers. She would like to continue to take this same job and the field that she's in
and acknowledge each other. I only wish we had time to hear all the stories or even more stories, which we don't. But just what was your experience in hearing those stories? What was your... Do you want to come and just hook me for the last bit? What did you observe in those stories? Actually, I think I'm fine. Yeah.
I saw a lot of
Authenticity. No preparation, on their feet, good. What else did you see? What else did you observe, guys? Everyone has a story. Everyone has lots of stories. And when we actually open ourselves to hear the stories, our empathy, our compassion, our understanding of who they are, our understanding of how to unleash their gifts and talents quadruples, because we all just made the last payment on the house today, and there's nobody home. And it's called the human condition. And it's finally Dylan Thomas's "Do not go gentle into that good night" rage through the dying and the light to his father, who he loved so much, who he wanted to fight right till the end. We all have a story. Anything else that you observed? Sorry? That they heard each other's story and they were then able to represent the other with tremendous authenticity. Authentic leaders tell stories. Authentic leaders never stop listening. Authentic leaders never stop the work on themselves. Laurence Olivier, up to 4 days before he dies, is in a movement voice class. Mother Teresa, healing the sick. It just goes on and on. I want to just read you something as a conclusion. You've been an unbelievable group. You just participated. I wish we had hours to work, but it was just such a wonderful, wonderful time. This summer, by the way, at the Faculty Club, 30 executives and internal coaches will gather to become coaches who, in fact, can develop authentic leaders in the way that we're actually working here. So if you know of somebody, we're almost at 30, but if you know of one or two executives who need a rough and ready boot camp coaching training, or internal coaches, send them along, and you yourselves are welcome to come, or to Leaders Coach, Leaders Communicator, which is a lower dose than this summer. But this summer, August 23rd, September 2nd, we're locking people up, and we're taking them absolutely through the boot camp of executive coaching. So you're most welcome. There's flyers in the back around this. So when he was installed as the first black president of a free, democratic, non-racial South Africa, he chose Marianne Williamson's work to actually dedicate to the people of South Africa. And I want to dedicate this to you because you've been such a great group and so with it and so responsive, which is so akin to our MBA group right over here. So what Mandela said, again, when he took the oath of office, he said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Hear those words. Who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightening about shrinking, so other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We're all meant to shine as children do. And we're born to make manifest the glory of God that's within us. And friends, it's not just in some of us, it's actually in everyone. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. When you and you and you and myself, is what he said, and all of us in this beautiful hall are liberated from our own fear and our own fears, our presence will automatically liberate others. Spoken on that historic day in May of 1994 as a freedom fighter who never lost hope, who said Robben Island is our university. Stop looking at it like a prison. It's our university. It's our place to, in fact, expand our minds. We shall not let our minds die. So in May 14th of 1994, taking the oath and stating the words, when we're liberated from our own fears, our presence will automatically liberate others. That's something to remember. So I dedicate this to you, you're wonderful people. And with that, let's all bring the curtain down. Thank you very much.